Okay, for this one, several psychology students are unprepared for a surprise true-false test with 9 questions, and all of their answers are guesses. So find the mean, the standard deviation for the number of correct answers for such students. And then part B, we'll answer that in a minute. Okay, so just remember what the mean is. So the mean is n times p. And this should just make sense to us naturally, right? So if we have 9 questions, we expect them to get half of them right because it's a true-false test. And so we're going to do n, which is 9, times the probability of getting one correct, which is 0.5, and we get 4.5. So that would be the mean. Okay, now we're asking for the standard deviation. And recall from the video or from the reading that standard deviation is the square root of n times p times, I think this book uses q, we can just say 1 minus p. If they did use q, q is just 1 minus p. It's just an easy way to write 1 minus p with one letter rather than putting 1 minus p in parentheses. Either way, n is what? And the standard deviation is not as intuitive as the mean, so just sort of, for this point, just sort of accept this formula on a little bit of faith, right? One of the videos we may have shown you, shown you why this worked. So plug in square root of n, which is 9, times p, which is 0.5, times 1 minus p. Let's do that in our head, 0.5. So we have 9 times 0.5 times 0.5 and take the square root. Okay, went ahead and brought the calculator up. We're going to do the square root, so second x squared, and then 9. I don't like using parentheses in this case when we just have one number in there, so I'm just going to say times 0.5. Whoop, I didn't say times. Times 0.5 times another 0.5. And then press enter. And we get 1.5. This is round to 1 decimal place, so you really have to be careful with rounding on all these, so make sure you pay attention. Almost always will tell you what to round to. Okay, now let's look at part B. Would it be unusual for a student to pass by guessing, which requires getting at least 7 correct answers? So we want to know what's the probability we get at least 7 correct answers. Okay, so for this one, our mean is 4.5. It's right here. So the mean is 4.5 with a standard deviation of 1.5. And recall that it's unusual if it's beyond the 2 standard deviations of the mean. So we can find the minimum value. We'll do both of them. So the minimum value is the mean minus 2 standard deviation, and the maximum value is the mean plus 2 standard deviation. Now really we don't need to find the minimum value, but let's go and do that anyway. So our mean here is 4.5. So we'll say, so this is the minimum. So the mean is 4.5 minus 2 times 1.5. So 2 times 1.5 is 3. 4.5 minus 3 is 1.5. So that's the minimum usual value. And then what's the maximum? It's going to be 4 plus 2 times 1.5. So 2 times 1.5 is 3. 4 plus 3. Sorry, it's 4.5 plus 3. So this is going to be 7.5. Now 7, so if we kind of draw our number line here, so the usual values occur between 1.5 and 7.5. So all these values in here are usual. And I'll let this little pink color. Values on the outsides of this greater than 7.5 and less than 1.5 are considered unusual. Now, where does 7 fall on this number line? Yeah, it falls in here, right? So it falls somewhere in the usual range. So we'll say, make sure you're answering the right question. Is it unusual? No, not unusual. Hope that helps.